Welcome everyone, I'm Jessica Robinson and I'm partnering with TC California to create a safe community space for transaction coordinators throughout the state. And welcome to Veronica from Brentwood.
Hi.
All right, you and I have known each other for some years now, and
Yes.
I've already said I'm very excited about this interview because you really do know how to create a work-life balance that I admire. But how long have you been at TC, and have you always been independent?
I've been at TC since 2004, 2005-ish, and I've been an independent for about 4 years. I was with a brokerage for 17 years, and about 4 years ago, I decided to venture out and become an independent TC. My husband's a realtor, so that's how I got in the business by default with him. He asked me, hey, I need help with this file. Do you know what to do? And me being a person that loves paperwork, I know, right? Loves paperwork and
the best couples, right?
Yeah, and being organized. I said, sure. And that was my foot in the door.
Okay. And so what are some of the benefits of being independent as opposed to working with a brokerage?
Benefits of being an independent is that you can venture out to different brokerages. I currently have about between 8 and 10 different brokerages that I work with, and all of their agents, obviously. And then the benefits of being with an in-house transaction coordinator, which means you're the TC for that brokerage, is that you only do transactions for those agents, and it's pretty steady income depending on how big the brokerage is. However, many brokerages do not allow you to venture out if you're their in-house TC coordinator.
And you mentioned when we spoke earlier that you're able then to bring sort of lots of different brokerages and their ways of conducting business to the table, and you can share that information with your clients.
Correct. I like to help my brokerages understand the importance of disclose, because sometimes, there's other brokerages that have certain disclosures and other brokerages that don't have any disclosures. So it's just really important that, to me, to help educate them and help them along on their protocols and policies for their brokerage.
And we talked just a moment ago about how there are some realtors that you have to kind of stay on top of. And I would imagine that there's some that say, hey, you just do the paperwork, I'm good. But especially when it comes to contingency dates, and we always laugh about the AVID.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
About the AVID? Well, the AVID, please do your AVIDs, agents. Please,
That's
for
funny to me.
the love of God, please do your AVIDs. It is very important that we have in your file an AVID because your broker needs it, and it's contractual in a sense. So the AVIDs, please do them.
So there's different realtors have different styles.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of realtors that I've spoken with really appreciate, for example, when a TC stays on them about contingency dates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we don't say we've fallen out of contract, but we have changed, we're no longer aligned with our contingency dates. And so
Right.
that creates a lot of issues for TCs. Right. And so what do you find?
I have found that at the beginning of the transaction, I always send a timeline to all parties. And at that time, agents can confirm or say, hey, these timelines are wrong. So we're all on the same page. That's very important. And I send out reminders of when the contingencies are due. Mm-hmm. And I also send reminders when when we haven't received them. Say, hey, these are past due. I inform my agent, that kind of thing, whether you're the buyer or the seller. Very important you keep your timelines because, you want to make sure everything flows. And if it doesn't, if you don't keep your timelines, there's a huge possibility that the escrow can be extended.
Certainly.
And no one wants that, right?
Right.
Everybody, especially the buyers and the sellers who, want to,
Yeah, there are some pretty tight timelines. Yes. When you're buying a new home and selling your previous property, right?
Yeah.